Detroit to Chicago to New York to Accra, Ghana to Monrovia, Liberia, about 26 clock hours less the 5 you lose to time zone. Our base for the entire trip was in Cotton Tree, which abuts the Firestone rubber plantation and plant. Our first drive through Cotton Tree gave us insight into the economic realities of Liberia. Most businesses essentially were buying goods in bulk and selling them in smaller packages. The Kakata-Farmington River District Parsonage was built 4 years ago, dividing the 400 t-shirts we had collected for distribution. The living room and dining rooms of the parsonage. The house was wired and plumbed, but it had no running water. We bathed and flushed with a dipper of water. The work project was right next to the parsonage. Most of the foundation block for the Dwayne E. Miller Administrative Center had already been laid. Ladies selling palm nuts by the road. We saw these chicken feet at the Firestone Company store. These ladies are on their way to the laundromat. This creek was closer to Cotton Tree than the river where we would go. Pregnant women are apparently referred to as big bellies. All the cooking at the parsonage was done with charcoal. Our dietitian was a blessing. She could understand us, and we could understand her. We were welcomed to the district at J. Rue United Methodist Church.
Oh, we live forever.
People walked for hours to welcome us to their district. Jessica was a rock star everywhere we went. We visited the soccer fields with Patrick and Elijah most afternoons. They agreed to pose for this picture for just one new soccer ball. The goat is alive in a sling, and there are chickens in that wooden cage. Our first task was moving sand for bricklayer's mortar, then bringing the blocks from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill. We were helped by volunteers from area churches every day. I had 7 blocks in my first loads and 3 in my last few. There were only a few wheelbarrows, so we carried them any way we could. Jessica was good at using her head. Done for the day. Rice twice a day with meat and sweet potato leaves and fresh fruit. We visited small villages most afternoons. This village was pretty typical. bags of charcoal ready for pickup. This was a pretty typical church. We stopped to look at it. Notice its well. Villages always had some common spaces like this cookhouse. A retired pastor living on $6 a month. Cotton trees are truly impressive. Everyone has to visit a market almost every day, so they are everywhere. This house is under construction. It just needs a little mud to fill in the spaces. Two kinds of lizards were pretty common everywhere. You can take a librarian out of the library, but on our first visit to Monrovia, about 45 minutes away, we learned how extensive the UN presence is. Students must pass the WAEC to graduate. One of Liberia's greatest sources of capital is foreign aid. It comes from everywhere. The headquarters of the Liberian Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. We attended part of a service there. Bishop Ennis offered Jessica his desk and chair to honor her for the work she has done for Duncan School. Duncan School is in the slums of Monrovia. We toured the school.
What kind of math are you learning? Adding and subtracting? Time table?
Does she take a picture? Yes. Very good.
Everybody say cheese. Cheese.
But anyway, have you heard about Jessica before and the children that she is helping go to school? You heard about her before? So you want scholarship for Jessica?
Yes.
Here is Jessica.
Okay, come on, be in class. I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
The sweat on his brow tells you it was hot. Classrooms were very crowded. This group is ready to cross the alley to church. Fourth graders were learning French. Those composition books were the only books we saw in the school. Jim studies the class schedule. The teachers were doing the best they can in a pretty desperate environment. This is the teacher's lounge, all of it, and yes, there are some books. Part of the schedule posted into one hall. These desks were just this close together when they were occupied by children. Duncan's kindergartners attend school across the street. Students who are attending Duncan School on scholarships provided with Jessica's leadership.
You just stand still. I'm going to come to you. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now I'm coming down. Hey, quit pushing. Don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a little too close. I need a little more room. You guys, let me get back a little. You're a little too close. Okay? That's much better. Much better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there you go. I'm getting you all. Everybody. Everybody's in here. Yeah, you're all in there. Okay. It's all right.
we went by the Firestone plant very regularly, paying the price for the agreement to pose for a picture. They took it easy on Jessica in Liberian baseball. We call it kickball. The bulk of the work we did on the project was filling the foundation with dirt taken from several places on the property. Meal preparation underway. After our daily work, curious children would just appear. We wanted to experience washing our clothes in the Farmington River, which was just down the highway from the parsonage. We were always welcomed warmly. Meet in Gaytown. The first well we provided at St. John United Methodist Church in Gaytown. Gaytown is near the river, so many villagers catch fish and crawfish in these beautiful handmade traps. The village cookhouse. A couple of bushes were nearly stripped, and Jessica mentioned she thought they were pretty. Clay blocks drying in the sun. The bridge is new. The log used to be the road. The bridge in the upper left-hand corner is where we did the laundry in the river. Many denominations have schools in Liberia. Most of the Bashu children attend this Catholic school. Journaling, lights, courtesy of the generator. Fanning the fire. Breakfast. Note the generator is still running. Crews of volunteers joined us daily. Washing clothes in the backyard. Reinforcing a brace. A lot of dirt got moved a little at a time. Cool spot to take a nap. Lunchtime for the volunteers. The ladies ate together, and so did the men. The palm branch arches were a sign of welcome. Everyone had gifts for the district superintendent. Francie gets a very positive reaction to a bag of peppermint candy. The Liberian version of a grandparent house. This lady had Heifer International goats and sheep. And, of course, a gift for the DS. A massive cotton tree by the Firestone Staff Club. Yes, it was on the Firestone Staff Golf Course. Children at Bishop Judith Craig's Children's Village. Village weaver nests fill this tree. cottages at the orphanage. The cottages were in need of repair. They had inadequate ventilation, lighting, and sanitation. Cooking with charcoal inside the already hot cottage. Light courtesy of the camera flash. That new building in the back is a school built by a Swedish group. There is also a church building under construction at the orphanage. These are homes along the highway. A reminder of the recent wars, note the Muslim clinic. There was some trash around. Traffic in Monrovia was unbelievable. Shops nearly filled many side streets. We got by each other very carefully.
Remember that Charles told me to keep the camera in the car. These motorcycle drivers go by. Not hard to imagine the